Welcome all to the City of Middletown Planning Board meeting, December the 6th, 2023. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, a little housekeeping first for our transcriptionist. All board members are present. Also present this evening is Mr. Welch, the building inspector, and Mr. Krogan, the planning board attorney. Okay, moving on. We need the motion for approval of the November 1st, 2023 minutes. Mr. Brito, Mr. McCormick on the second. All in favor? Aye. Thank you. Moving on to the agenda, we have a 9 to 29 Canal Street, 6-month extension. Bear with us this evening. We are going to the official resolution process that the Common Council follows, which will be now going forward, all in the same program, same electronic system. So this evening, I will not be reading them all off. No applause. Okay? And I'm just going to simply let you know that the resolution before the board this evening is a requested 6-month extension for 9 to 29 Canal Street. I need a motion. So moved. Ms. Houston, second, Ms. Witt. Any discussion? Roll call. Mr. Madden?
Yes.
Mr. McCormick?
Yes.
Mr. Brito?
Yes.
Ms. Witt?
Yes.
Ms. Houston?
Yes.
Mr. Higbee?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Next on the agenda, Falun Dafa Ganjing World Foundation, 11 to 31 Fulton Street. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Chairman. Good evening, board members. Can I distribute the...
Please. Got it.
Let's update the sentiment based on comments from our engineer.
I'll handle that for you.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
So basically, my name is Jian Hu with JH Architecture. The project address is 11-31 Fulton Street. The project is existing building, only one story. Basically, it's a one warehouse attached with accessory rooms. So total square footages is 17,600, and the lot area is 3.6 acres. So that's basically the property is wrapped by 3 streets. South boundary is Fulton Street. West is Mill Street. East is Mulberry Street. So basically, this property has 2 entrance and exits from Mulberry Street, and the 2 exits and entrance from Mill Street. The existing building sitting in the middle of the property. Basically, we just request to change use from existing storage to future proposed film studio, which is Group B business, counting occupancy load and the parking per Middletown zoning is counting as 300 square foot per car. So totally, this proposed film studio needs 59 cars, and we can satisfy these requirements. But the parking lots is a little bit complicated. We have basically separated to 3 lots. Parking lot A, parking lot B, and C. Lot A is dedicated for 33 Fulton Street project, which is 47 cars dedicated for adjacent property. Lot B, parking lot B is preserved for 929 Canal Street project. So that's dedicated 105 cars. And the lot 3 is really for a potential film studio, which requires 59 cars. So you can see we have another 9 cars located close to lot A, but close to the entrance of the existing building has another 9 cars, including ADA parking. So future film studio, we need 3 handicap cars. We provide 4 of them. You can see close to the building entrance area has HC, marked HC. It's a handicap parking close to the entrance. That's about our parking. If you see the property line, north part of the property has a very narrow connection to the existing Mill Street. We prefer to keep that as emergency exit and access for the future driveway and pedestrian into the property. So that's remain. And all the existing exterior lights on the building, exterior parking lights remains as is and will be repaired as required. You can see we have, to satisfy all the parking, we have 2 areas we call site plan disturbance area, which is total square footages is 7,323 square foot, which is 0.168 acres. So that's a disturbance area. So it's a very minor. That's our operation hour we propose from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. And we have fire truck study with updated package sent to Martina already. I didn't make that copy, but I'll forward to town engineer for review and the fire inspector for review. That's pretty much here. And I got the comments from town engineer yesterday. Today, this afternoon, actually, we had all kinds of response to each item and get back to town engineer already. That's a lot of detail. I don't know if you want to walk through that, but before that, probably I stop here waiting for questions.
Okay. Ms. Tu, do we have the mailings? Yes, we do. Okay, then I'm going to open the public hearing. Ms. Tu, do we have anything in writing? Anyone on the telephone? Okay, anyone present wishing to speak on this application, please step forward. Okay, we'll go to the board for any questions, comments, or concerns. Yes, Ms. Witt.
I just have a question. You said that you did a fire inspection for the traffic study?
A fire truck access study, basically
Okay.
allow the fire vehicle.
Have you
to
done a
pass.
traffic study?
Yeah, it's here.
Okay. That's, I just was curious. You have it with you? Okay. Thank you.
Just so the board knows, our planning board engineer has reviewed it, sent comments. The architect has responded to him. He has found nothing outstanding. Just so you know, within the resolution, there is a paragraph that states that the applicant must meet all of the planning board engineers or the city engineers' requirements before they are issued a City of Middletown CO. Because of the time frame that was going back and forth, it's a subject to in that resolution, so the applicant will have to, obviously, abide by whatever comments our engineers make. And he has started already.
Yeah.
He's also completed the EAF to the satisfactory of our planning board engineer. So this evening, we'll be doing a lead agency, a neg deck, and then the resolution 431 Fulton. All right, just want to fill you in a little
You
bit.
still have to provide those easements, though. This lot is being used for 2 other properties.
Sure.
So we need those easements.
Okay.
That is also part of the resolution. All cross easements must be submitted and approved. Mr. Welch, do you have anything? I know Theron sent an email, Mr. Atkins, fire inspector, he's okay. He's just gonna have to address the one issue about the sprinkler system,
If required.
if required, yes. Anything else from the board?
Just a quick question.
Sure.
Will you be completing your work in a set of phases over a certain timeline?
For now, if no hardship on the site plan, probably we consider one phase. Yeah. Thank you.
Because he never gave us anything until tonight. Unless you want to amend the resolution. No. Okay. Sorry. Back to the public. Anyone wishing to step forward, comment on this application? Then I'm going to close the public hearing, but I need a motion to do that. Mr. Brito, motion. I need a second. Mr. McCormick, all in favor? Aye. Public hearing is closed. Okay. So what was in your packet? You saw well, we're going to go to the lead agency first for this property. City of Middletown Planning Board is going to declare themselves lead agency from the Falun Dafa Gangjing World Foundation, located at 11 to 31 Fulton Street, City of Middletown, New York. I need a motion. Mr. Brito, I need a second. Mr. McCormick, discussion. Roll call. Mr. Madden.
Yes.
Mr. McCormick.
Yes.
Mr. Brito.
Yes.
Ms. Witt.
Yes.
Ms. Houston.
Yes.
Mr. Higbee.
Yes.
And I vote yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Well, not quite done, now we're going to go to the neg deck.
Yeah, we're not, yeah, this is
Yeah.
just, we have like, there's
We
three
got your lead
times.
agency, now we're moving on to the neg deck. So the City of Middletown Planning Board is going to make a negative declaration based on our Planning Board engineer's recommendation. We have, again, Falun Dafa Gangjing World Foundation, 11 to 31 Fulton Street. I need a motion. Mr. Madden, I need a second. Mr. McCormick? Discussion? Roll call. Mr. Madden?
Yes.
Mr. McCormick?
Yes.
Mr. Brito?
Yes.
Ms. Witt?
Yes.
Ms. Houston?
Yes.
Mr. Higbee?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Okay, then what we all came here for this evening.
Thank you very much.
One more.
One more to go. This is your resolution, as we discussed, for your approval. Again, for the Falun Dafa Gangjing World Foundation, 11 to 31 Fulton Street. I need a motion. Mr. Brito. I need a second. Ms. Witt. Discussion. Roll call. Mr. Madden.
Yes.
Mr. McCormick.
Yes.
Mr. Brito.
Yes.
Ms. Witt.
Yes.
Ms. Houston.
Yes.
Mr. Higbee.
Yes.
And I vote yes. And now you're official.
Thanks, okay.
Good luck.
Next on the agenda, Sound of Hope Network, 45 to 51 Academy Avenue. Good evening.
Good evening. Hi, Chairman and board members. My name is Alan Zhang, and
Jonathan Lee.
so it's about 45 to 51. It's essentially one big building,
Academy.
Academy. 4551 Academy, and so we were here a couple months ago for the second floor. Now we have the whole plan for the remaining floor, which is the basement, the first and the third. It's mainly for office use and the studio production use.
Everybody has a plan.
I assume they do, yes.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay. So if we started with the basement, we'll be adding a men's dressing room and a women's dressing room. So mainly there will be like a YouTubers producing programs in the building. So they need that kind of space to do that. And no other change will be happening to the basement, which is largely there will be storage, and there will be a just activity room, which is currently the current situation, some pool table. And the bigger change is on with the first floor. The first floor will be adding a kitchen and a lounge for dining, and this is for internal staff. And then we will be add a driving garage, which will lead to a press room and a VIP room, because hopefully you can release news there and shoot some good footage for the news release. And so then the third floor, after the Little Lotus, they move away, which is estimated to be a year and a half. So we'll be converting their office to our office, not their office, their current room, children's room, into our office. And most of them will be also using for shooting studio. That's pretty much the change.
Okay. Gonna open the public hearing. Ms. Tu, do we have the mailings? Anything in writing? Anyone on the telephone? Okay, anyone present wishing to speak on this project, please step forward. Okay, I'll move on to the board for any comments, questions?
Can you repeat what you said about Little Lotus, please?
Yeah, Little Lotus, they are, currently we have two tenants, both are, one is ABCD, another is the Little Lotus. ABCD currently is on one side of the first floor. They will be moving away next month. Little Lotus will be moving away after 18 months. So they will be there for a while.
My only question is for our attorney, is there anything that would disallow a school to be existing in the same building as a studio or anything like that?
No,
Okay, thank you.
you're welcome.
Mr. Madden?
Are we to assume that there's no changes happening on the second floor?
Second floor was approved last month.
Yes. So yes,
Thank
to
you.
answer your question, we're assuming that there is no changes. Any other board members? Mr. Welch? Okay.
And Mr. Atkins,
Again, commented that he had no issues, and he's working in hand with them to make sure they get through the process. Okay. There was only one question, I believe, on the plan, was the area underneath the auditorium seating. But I believe Mr. Atkins will work out whatever needs to be worked out with that area underneath the seating, okay?
Yeah.
Whether it's allowed to be used for anything, he'll determine that, okay?
in the basement
The
area.
basement area.
Yeah, that was, actually, we were using that for some mailing. The mailing is not for a mailing business, it's really just internal mailing, because, we're YouTubers, there's fans who send things in, and then we also, sell things to them, so we use that as a mailing. But Theron raised the objection there, so we actually stop it. Actually, I moved away from to another place.
Okay, so whatever the fire inspector will deem that area to be useful as, he'll communicate directly with the applicant. Okay. Going back to the public. Anyone from the public wishing to step forward and speak on this application? All right, we're going to close the public hearing. I need a motion to do that. Motion to close the public hearing. Mr. McCormick, I need a second. Mr. Higbee? All in favor? Aye. Public hearing is closed. I'll go back to the board one more time for any comments, questions, or concerns. Okay. According to the resolution, Sound of Hope Radio Network, located at 45 to 51 Academy Avenue. I need a motion. Mr. Brito, I need a second. No second. Mr. McCormick? Discussion. Roll call. Mr. Madden?
Yes.
Mr. Brito? Or Mr. McCormick? I always do that. I apologize.
Yes.
Mr. McCormick?
Yes.
Mr. Brito?
Yes.
Ms. Witt?
Yes.
Ms. Houston?
Yes, but I just wanted to point out that when she does the transcription, you accidentally said 41 to 55, and I didn't want that to get.
No problem.
Thank you.
They'll straighten it right out. Ms. Houston?
Oh, I voted yes.
Okay. Mr. Higbee?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
All right. That concludes our official agenda. Now we're going to have a preliminary hearing, not for any action, but for future presentation and possible action at a date not yet determined. We're going to meet Good Fortune LLC, 328 Highland Avenue Extension, warehouse storage facility. This is all an official agenda. You're on the official agenda.
Yeah.
Stupid me.
Good
evening,
evening,
gentlemen.
everybody.
State your name for the record, please.
My name is Brendan Connor. I'm here tonight with Brian Connor and David Connor. We're three of the owners of Good Fortune LLC, the applicant. This property here is located at 328 Highland Ave Extension. It's near the intersection of Industrial Place. As you're climbing up the hill, Water Tower would be on the same side. We've owned this property since the spring of this year. It's always been vacant to our knowledge. I think many years ago there was a concept that was approved, and they had basically applied for reapprovals for a number of years, and then I think those lapsed in 2012. But at any rate, since we've owned the property, it's kind of been a blank canvas. So it's zoned heavy industrial right now. It is kind of a unique property because there are residential properties surrounding it on Highland Ave Extension, but we're zoned heavy industrial. There's a big warehouse building behind this structure here. So the concept that we have tonight here, we think fits in with the intent of the current zoning district. It's a approximately 12,300 square foot warehouse facility. We meet all of our setback requirements, parking requirements. I know there is we received today the comments from Clark Patterson, so I see there's a number of issues that will have to be gone through and replied to by the engineer, Fusco Engineering. But in the meantime, I think the main thing we wanted to do right now is just present the overall concept and receive any feedback from the board, and go from there.
Okay. Any board members? Jump right in, ask any questions you'd like.
The whole building, will it be used for warehousing?
That's the intent right now, yeah. And actually, if we can look at this one more time, we did have another version which didn't make the cut here, I believe, where we are proposing a loading dock on the one side, and we'd actually potentially split that and have a single loading dock on each side of the building, which would allow the building to be potentially rented to two separate occupants. We've dealt with some local real estate professionals. They felt that there's a pretty strong need for spaces slightly smaller, like in the 5,000 square foot range. So that would allow, one occupant for the entire building, or perhaps two separate occupants for each side.
With their own loading dock.
With their own loading dock, yes.
If you did it that way, though, wouldn't you, I think you'd have a hard time backing the trucks into, you know what I mean? If you're having, it looks like you have one-way traffic flow for the trucks already.
Right.
And then to try to,
Right. I see one of the comments on Clark Patterson here is
his comment.
to basically have a turning plan and show all the truck turning radiuses. So that's something
Yeah,
that we'll
there you
have
go.
to incorporate on our next submission.
I haven't seen the comments myself either. Is there a traffic study requested?
Yeah, I believe so. I don't know if if it requests a full traffic study or if it just had. let me see
Well,
what
I'll
point
tell you
it
that the
is.
town of Waukegan did comment.
Yes,
They're looking probably for a traffic study.
that's where I saw the comment.
The county of Orange also must comment.
Okay.
They chose not to, I don't think they officially commented, because the plan was not complete enough for them to make a comment.
Okay.
Okay, we have to give them 30 days again, once you give us a plan that is more specific,
Okay.
okay?
Yeah, actually, I'm looking at the Walk Hill comment right now.
The board will also, I think, would like to know, would like to see office space. If you, obviously, you're gonna have some type of office space, warehouse space. It has to show how you're gonna divide it up, because that's gonna help us determine if you do have the proper amount of spaces for parking. Okay, 'cause
Right.
Office and warehouse are two different calculations.
Right, as they allocate,
And,
okay.
and Fusco knows that.
Sure.
Once you get a clearer picture of what you're going for, we can
Right.
have a clearer picture of how to determine your parking.
Sure, okay.
Yes, Mr. McCormick?
Do you have an idea of what you'll be warehousing there or storing there?
We don't at this point, no.
So you know tenants are lined up or anything?
Correct. We do have several existing businesses in the community that have expressed some interest in perhaps this facility. So right now, again, our goal is just to get a preliminary concept drawing in front of the board and get feedback and then take that and build off of it. But no, nothing's set in stone right
Can
now.
you give us an idea?
Nothing hazardous, nothing, nothing disturbing the neighborhood.
Businesses that
Yeah,
are
5
interested in
feet,
it?
yeah.
Yeah,
We're not looking for names, but
Yeah, there's a lot of, there's a particular business in town that does online retail, essentially. So they're primarily retailing,
determined the requirement.
or warehousing
to me,
products,
but-
rather, and then selling online.
Be
So there'd be
residential, too. I
delivery
don't know.
trucks,
Might
in
be
and out, that
residential.
type of thing.
so on top of the.
As far as the setback, I don't know what they are exactly for.
Tractor
industrial.
trailers, you would anticipate delivery trucks coming and going. I guess that'd be part of the traffic study, but.
Sure. I believe so, yeah. I think there's a strong possibility, especially if it's that smaller 5,000 square foot space, that we're not really talking about tractor trailers. You're probably talking about mid-sized delivery vans would probably be more likely, but we wanted to incorporate, all those options.
I have a question. You checked yes on the seeker form for 12B. Is the project site or any portion of it located in or adjacent to an area designated as sensitive for archaeological sites on the New York State Historic Preservation Office Archaeological Site Inventory? What was that a site of?
I'm not sure.
Historically
We'll have to
speaking.
speak with Fusco about that. None of us
Yeah.
are,
Okay,
I'm not sure if that was, if that's accurate or a typo on the form.
okay. And,
We don't know of anything, right?
I mean,
I don't think so.
the concept to me in general sounds really great, and
Great.
my only concern that comes to mind at the moment is what as Mr. McCormick said, what you'll be storing. We want to make sure it's nothing that's going to cause fire or,
Sure.
anything that could leak or harm the environment or the local, but it is heavy industrial, so
Right.
just to keep that all in mind. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
I think you also have to be sensitive to the residential area as well.
Right.
So idling trucks, the hours of operation.
Right.
Would have to be limited. Lighting, all reflected down.
Right.
And Christian probably raised those in his comments.
Yes, I
There's
did
some
see reference to
comments,
those.
And the setbacks, Mr. Higby was
Yeah,
concerned
I
about
was
the
just,
setbacks.
I was just looking at the setbacks, and I don't know, I'm not the engineer or anything, but I would definitely check the setbacks, because it looks so minimal to me, I mean,
Sure. Do you have a copy of the plan?
yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. Right, yeah, we've got that table on there, but we'll definitely review those and make sure.
Yeah.
It's a small lot, and it's a big building, so we're definitely
CPL. mobile
aware of
comments,
that.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, the one from the road is the one that I was really, to me, that looks so minimal.
We're definitely, that other scenario we talked about too, we're potentially dividing the spaces. I think we're acknowledging that the building, the footprint of the building would have to shrink down, because there would be additional parking requirements if there, if we did do something like that, so.
Think about landscaping too,
Yes,
right? You are in a heavy
Screening.
residential area.
right, definitely. One item in the comments from Clark Patterson that I did want to just quickly address, their comment number 3, which references question 17B, indicates that stormwater will be directed to established conveyance systems, but there are none evident in the highway. We did drive by today. There is drainage and there's catch basins along the road. They're on the other side of the road, not on our side. So, because without that, obviously, it's a small site, and it would be difficult probably to achieve everything on site. So, so that's something that we'll respond to, and they'll have to shoot grades and check the capabilities of that existing system. But That seems like that would be an important one.
I also noticed that on number 20, where it's talking about has a site, proposed action regarding traffic delineation, hazardous waste and outlet SES. So just keep that in mind. Maybe we can look into that.
Christian did raise that as well, Ms. Sweat.
Okay, thank you.
Unfortunately, we didn't get the comments soon enough to get to all the board members.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you, though.
But this is preliminary. It was
Yes.
time to introduce the project to the board.
Yeah.
So they have an understanding of what's about to happen.
Okay.
Could happen. Is it, I can't tell, is it over an acre?
No, it's a little under 3/4 of an acre.
Quarters of an acre, okay.
Yeah.
Board members, anything else?
Anything you guys can think of, we appreciate it. Appreciate any feedback.
Obviously, you have to get with the fire inspector for
Yes.
turning radiuses with fire trucks, for the building, if sprinklers are gonna be required or not.
Right.
If you haven't made an appointment with Theron, you should.
Okay, we will. Regarding that, you know, if we proceed with this application and we don't have a clear vision of who the tenants and the occupants are going to be, how would we, you know, proceed with that? Would there be conditions on an approval that would say, you know, if it were a certain type of business that required sprinklers, depending on what their warehousing say, you know, how would that work?
Well, that would be up to Theron, but if you got a blanket approval
Right.
for each individual person that rents the space, they would have to come before the board to get approval.
Okay, that makes sense.
And I'm just, are you planning on doing sidewalks? Because in your application, it says sidewalk, but on here, I don't see a sidewalk.
It doesn't show any sidewalks there, no. I don't think that was the intent, but if it's required.
No, I mean, that's what it says in here. Well, it's not, but
Maybe a requirement.
the county, when they
Okay.
go to them and their input, it's been sidewalks.
Okay.
Like if
No,
you
there's no
notice around.
sidewalks on the road.
Yeah, if you notice these sidewalks that are in front of one property and not in front of
Sure.
any others,
We'd be one of those.
yeah. But
Right.
but also on your application, you wrote sidewalk too. But I would think that would be something that would be very detrimental to you.
Sure, we
Because
don't-
that's gonna push your, you know,
Parking and-
push your parking and your turning radius for your cars, and it could eventually lower the square footage of your building,
Indeed.
you know?
Okay, I appreciate that. So would we well,
I don't know if I would anticipate it, but I would be thinking that it might.
I was saying anticipate any comments from the county until there's a more complete plan, which would be at least 1 month down the road.
Because the city may require sidewalks even though there's no sidewalks on the other side of it, they may
Right.
require sidewalks.
And the majority of that, though,
Middletown is
but the
town
majority
walk
of
on
that is
the
the
other
town of Walk Hill, yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the closest stretch of sidewalk to that property. It's
None.
down by,
I don't think
down
there-
by
There
Maddie's
isn't. I
Diner,
mean, you go all the
probably,
way
right?
down, there isn't any.
Right,
Be a question for your engineer to research,
sure.
to see if it's required.
Okay, very good, we'll do that.
I don't see, I mean, myself, I wouldn't be in favor of I don't think I would be in favor of a sidewalk, but I just know that the town, the county that's usually one of their biggest comments on projects.
Yeah, it was for a while. I don't know if they
They
still
kinda
are.
stopped the
Oh,
doing that a
okay.
little bit, but
Sidewalks to nowhere.
I know, and that's exactly what this would be, I mean,
Right.
especially since it's all residential too, I mean, it's, you know, throughout there.
Mr. Higby and I took a full evening of training on sidewalks at the county, remember
I
that?
do.
Very, very pro sidewalk.
Yeah,
Right.
so do you think he was clear about the tenant thing?
I know we pick up door to door that whole road. And the
Um,
buses.
It's clear that it doesn't have a tenant.
Obviously, it's not very helpful right now because we don't have it in front of us, but I believe when we revised the site plan to make a more symmetrical building with a loading dock on either side, we had to reduce the footprint of the building in order to meet all the requirements. So I believe the building is actually going to be closer to 10 to 11,000 square feet. So ideally, we're looking to build a flex industrial building that would be divisible in half, so 2 tenants between 5,000 and 5,500 square feet. That would kind of allow the flexibility if we could get one or two, and then also, in kind of responding to your comments, that would potentially help cut down on the truck traffic. Having a smaller operator that only needs about 5,000 square feet. We're targeting, local companies, contractors, landscapers, perhaps, or, just small warehouse type companies. So, obviously, in the future meetings, we'll have everything revised, but just to kind of let you guys know what we're thinking.
Keep in mind, when you're thinking about tenants, you still have to fit within the I-2 zone.
Yes.
As far as what is recommended for
The
tenants.
use.
The use, yeah. Okay, to start. Thanks.
And then you're gonna have to work on that traffic study when you get a chance as well with your engineer. That's further on down the road.
Board have any other questions? Okay, thank you, gentlemen. Good luck.
Thank you.
Regarding the
Good luck.
time frame moving forward too is, so we have to reply item by item to the Clark Patterson letter. Fusco will provide a response to that.
Yes.
And then a revised plan. And
Correct.
when do we, what's the,
Well, you'd
due
probably
date for
want
that
to
to the
do the
board?
revised plan first, because that may change some of the comments. So get the plan that you want as your final plan to start the process. Then Art, you'll have to work out a retainer with Martina for the Clark Patterson to review. And then you can start hitting those comments as they come in.
Okay.
And then when you have the comments sufficiently addressed, you can bring it before the board. And then the board can open a public hearing at some point, deal with the traffic studies and all the engineering comments.
Okay. So we should essentially get a letter from Clark Patterson with all of the comments sufficiently answered before we reappear then, or?
No, you can work it in conjunction.
It's a process.
Right.
You're going to be working on the comments, answering the comments, and then like Mr. Krogan said,
want
it
to
may
pop
adjust your site plan. I mean, everything's going to be in flux until you get everything answered, and you decide what you want to do for tenants and how you want to break up your building. So really, the flow is up to you, really.
Okay.
Okay, as far as how fast you go or slow you go, and how you answer the questions and what you present to the board again.
Okay.
That's kind of how it works. Since you have no designated tenant or specific plan, it's going to take however long it takes to kind of put yourself in that category, whatever category you want.
Sure. Okay.
Okay?
Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Everybody.
Thank
Yep.
you.
Thank you. Okay. Motion to adjourn. Mr. Brito, he's on a roll tonight. And second, Mr. Madden. All in favor? Aye.